switch to the major discuss this afternoon, where we'll be looking at some very important issue. But I understand what you were saying. I think that should be Anjaku and also the other lady who I couldn't finish playing your voice notes. I always say, okay, 1 minute, 30 seconds, but it's a little longer than that. Thank you so much. I mean, I'm sure you guys are trying to emphasize the importance of the mothers also playing their role. But like many of you said, it's also a choice between two people. Let them choose themselves. I think that's the most important thing, that a man chooses a woman and the woman chooses the man, so that they can take responsibility and also work towards making that happen. Someone said I should talk about my experience. Well, it wasn't so hard for me. It was so easy. I mean, it's like one of the easiest things that ever happened to me was getting married, because there was no opposition, there was nothing, both on his side and on my side. It was just, even before we met, before we saw eye to eye on both sides, it was like, hey, there was this love that was just struck and we hit it off very, very well. And so the whole traditional and white wedding and all the other processes needed to be done to make it a reality happened so very fast and so quick. And it's history now. But I always would advise that when there are oppositions, don't fight yourselves. If there is a way you can negotiate with the parents and try to understand where they're coming from, because their opinions matter, right? I mean, they raised you after all. And if you were nurtured by them and you have become a man of your own or a woman of your own, then you should trust the judgment of people who raised you and listen to their concerns. And if there is a place where you can allay their fears and you guys can, just get to that point where there is some sort of agreement, I think it's best, rather than disregarding outrightly your parents, because sometimes it comes with a lot of consequences. You may not see it. Many of you are citing the Bible, but it's the same Bible that talks about people who are in authority and the honor and respect you need to give to them. It doesn't say you should, take hook, line, and sinker, whatever it says, whatever they say. But there is room for listening. There's room for conversing about these things, and there's a place where people can always agree where there seems to be disagreement. So yeah, for those of you who are intending to do that, tread carefully, and I wish you all the best. Family is very important. If your family is not on the same page with you, trust me, it will get to the point where you need them. So don't disregard them all because they are butterflies. It may not always be like that all the rest of your days. So you would need your family support, you would need their love and their guidance and their help. And so you guys need to be on the same page. It's really very important, okay? Thank you so much for being a part of this segment. Let's take a quick break and come back for the major discuss. Don't go anywhere.
We feed you with the right information,
the right topic of interest,
and the right conversation.
I heard the Minister for Information, and he was trying to rationalize why the NLC should not go on strike now.
So one of the challenges at Africa, there's a lot of poverty and there's a lot of
and helps you make sense of it all.
I'm not here as a witness.
They were my friends.
Oh, freedom!
Listen!
Oh, I just don't trust you.
So sit back, strap in, as we take you through the world of movies. Animations,
Smile and wave, boys.
original soundtracks, and awesomeness of epic proportions.
Stay with me, tough guys. You just want to laugh at me like everyone else. Oh, nothing back!
It's the movie Awesome.
I don't have friends. I got family.
Sundays, 8 p.m. on your number one talk station, 95.1 Nigeria Info. Let's talk movies right now, right now, right now.
All right, welcome back. Thank you so much for staying. It's 1:22 p.m. and at this very moment, I would love for us to take a look at, how often our president is said to be out of the nation much more than he is in the nation, or present, and also carrying on with the duty of governance, providing leadership for Nigeria and Nigerians, But before then, we also have another issue, okay? I'll be taking two things simultaneously this afternoon, and that is coming from Enugu. Last week we saw the issue in the Onitsha market, but this time around, it's not about an Onitsha market kind of thing, or it's not a trader's issue. It is an allegation, right, which has been denied outrightly though by the Enugu state government and APC in particular. But this were the concerns. It started from the social media when this particular person tweeted about his mother, who is a teacher, and the fact that, or the allegation that there was a circular that has been sent that every teacher within that state needed to register under the APC party. And he not only alleged that, but he went ahead to provide evidence by showing the form that was forwarded to them, saying that that was necessary for them to process their salary and so on and so forth. Okay, so this is how Daily Post report actually reports this. I saw this and followed it on social media, but I just thought to also raise that today, even though there is a denial outrightly. I would also read that denial for you, but this is how the story goes. A controversy emerged in Enugu State following allegations that the chairman of Nsukka local government area, Jude Asogwa, ordered council workers to compulsorily register with the APC. The allegation was made on Monday by a social media influencer, Chichinkem Uwai, in a Facebook post where he described the development as a violation of workers' rights and freedom conscience. According to Uwai, teaching and non-teaching staff in Nsukka local government area were allegedly directed to report to Adada Hall for APC electronic registration with instructions to present their national identification number, voter's card, and bank account details. He claimed the registration was described as a mandatory. It was described as mandatory and accompanied by implied threats of job loss, intimidation, and victimization for non-compliance. Uwai also shared a message purportedly circulated to head teachers, stating that all teaching and non-teaching staff across Nsukka local government area and its development centers were required to attend the registration exercise by 9 a.m. while schools were instructed to organize staff attendance in batches to avoid leaving pupils unattended. Condemning the alleged directive, Uwai argued that no government has the legal or moral authority to compel citizens or civil servants to affiliate with a political party as a condition for retaining their jobs. And he warned that political participation should be driven by conviction rather than fear, alleging that such actions could be linked to attempts to build a party numbers ahead of the 2023 general election. Okay, he was quoted exactly what he posted on Facebook, Twitter, and all. He said below is the message they sent to teachers to compulsorily come today to at Adada Hall and register for e-registration, APC e-registration, or you'll be sacked. Okay. As at the time of filing this report, the Nsukka local government chairman had not publicly responded to the allegation. But then also looking at further reports that were put out after that report was made, one of the headlines on New Telegraph says Enugu APC denies forceful e-registration of teachers. Okay, it denies the forceful e-registration of teachers. I don't know why the story is not opening up, but it says the Enugu State chapter of the APC has denied the allegation of forceful electronic registration of teachers in the state. Okay, which points to the fact that, well, on the one hand, this Mr. Uwai, who escalated this matter on social media, putting it out there, and also there was even an evidence that was backing it up with a form which he posted. Now, many people will argue that, look, this is the age of technology, and so anybody can come up with whatever ridiculous story they want to on the internet. But at the end of the day, you even want to wonder the rationale behind that. Looking at how things have panned out over the years, you remember the story of that copper girl who was famed for the Tinubu is, I don't want to call that on air, But she was complaining bitterly about the administration, the cost of things and all, and then Lagos, that she just picked up on Lagos. She just said so many things. She was just lamenting generally about inflation, cost of living, and the fact that as much as she's paying so much for a crate of egg, to put in electricity and all, that she wasn't getting so much out of it, and it was becoming increasingly hard for her to survive as a young Nigerian. And that was just what it needed, for the internet to go like crazy, to have her supervisors and all the other people who are officials of the NYC come for her, and somehow I know that Showore, Falana, and some other renowned Nigerian activists jumped in on the matter, and that was how the matter actually, doused down on up until when she was supposed to graduate. And then we also had another incident or another report of her being denied her passing out certificate. I don't know how whether they've settled that or not. But at the end of the day, there shouldn't be any forceful. Nobody should force another person to join a political party, if you know what I'm saying, right? It's a civic duty that people should voluntarily avail themselves to. Like, if you feel the conviction that you want to join APC, by all means, it's your right. Nobody should blackmail you, even if they feel that APC is the worst party or APC has not performed. If that is the party you want to affiliate to, by all means. But then you see this issue of, or cases of having state officials, elected ones, and sometimes even appointed ones, getting into the arena, and some issues of forceful this or that. They're allegations, and that's why I'm being very, very careful with my words. They are allegations. But allegations or not, no one should be forced into any political party, any association, anything whatsoever. No one should be forced into anything whatsoever that a person is not convinced to do so. I don't know whether the civil service rules allows for civil servants to join politics, but I know that there are many instances that you are told as a public servant that if you want to contest as a politician, you first put in your resignation. And these are some of the rules, right? So if that be the case, I am also trying to relate that to the fact that you are telling civil servants to come and compulsorily register with a political party. There are so many rules that guide civil service, public service in Nigeria. And I don't think you are actively allowed to be running politics and at the same time serving the government, because it is seen as some sort of, it will be some sort of distortion of your attention. So you give attention to this. And even in some instances, you're even told that, look, don't even run businesses, So for this to be said to have happened, you'd wonder. And maybe that's the basis for which the APC is coming out to deny this, right? So it is finally open. The Enugu chapter of the APC has denied the allegation of forceful electronic registration of teachers in the state. The state party chairman, Dr. Ben Wunye, debunked the purported reports in a message issued by WhatsApp on Sunday Telegram. There was a social media report and by Alex Onya that the Enugu state government is threatening teachers in the state to join the APC e-registration or they will lose their job. Onya in the report said Enugu state government is threatening their teachers to fill in an e-registration form with the NIN and that of their family members or risk losing their jobs. I think this is unfair to them. The allegation was corroborated by James Mama, who said, for anyone who doubts, here is the form. My mom got one. I don't know what Peter Mba wants to turn Enugu into. When asked about his take on the allegation, Woye said, not true. It's not coming, or it is coming from opposition elements in the state who lack logical political strategies to stop or slow down the ever-rising popularity of our high-performing governor and the acceptability of the APC by Indi and Enugu. Anyways, I think at the end of the day, the government should not take this with kid's glove, because any of such allegation becomes quite alarming. So whether it is true or not, I guess the state governor needs to rise up and show himself as a true Democrat that he is purported to be, and stop any forceful, if there be any truth in this story, so that this does not become a dent on his own administration and generally on the APC, right? There shouldn't be any force whatsoever. It's a good thing that they deny or they've come out to deny. But over and above the denial, I feel concrete steps need to be taken to ensure that this does not become a reality, because it's such an aberration and will not speak well of our democracy. Democracy does not support force in any way, in any form. So this coming out of Enugu, with the governor just recently even decamping, so you just wonder why. Maybe some overzealous officials who are trying to impress the governor, but I mean, you wouldn't want to believe that the governor is a part of this. So if there be any truth in this kind of story, something drastic needs to be done so people can be allowed to breathe. Just allow them. If they want to join any political party, that's up to them, if the rules allow. But if not, let teachers be teachers and let them face their primary point of call, and that is to teach the children. So let's come back to our focus this afternoon. Presidency spends 34 billion naira on forex in 2 years. Interesting conversation that would love to have. One report actually says that in the month of January alone, it is said that the president has been out of the country for more than 22 days. Okay. Now, Tinubu's travel is nothing new. Okay. And I feel many Nigerians, when they speak about the presence or absence of a leader or the president, I think it started during the Muhammadu Buhari administration, who was famed for traveling a lot. If it is not for medical checkups, then it is because there is some sort of, gathering somewhere, whether it's a summit or it is a conference or it is in a bid to improve bilateral relations between Nigeria and such countries and to attract foreign investors into the country. And as much as there is a place for that, what actually gets people talking a lot of time is in extreme situations where you have seen or you hear of whether insecurity or any adverse situation that arises in the country. Sometimes, all right, not all times, because I give it to the president. I think, was that not towards the end of last year where we had some issue in Nigeria that he came back into the country, or he actually shelved his plans to travel out of the country when there was some sort of insecurity in Nigeria. But most times, I guess, where people have the problem is, number one, when it comes to travel or medical tourism, many people have often raised the issue as to why we cannot see healthcare improvements in Nigeria. Okay, I mean, if anything was to have taught us a lesson, it should have been COVID, that Nigeria would begin to build up her healthcare system so that we should be the ones attracting medical tourism from all across the globe, right? Once upon a time, we were that country where people wanted to come and school in. I mean, you hear the stories of how Nigerian universities were good. People from everywhere in Africa and sometimes even outside Africa were coming in. I grew up schooling with lots of Indians and other foreign nationals, But how many of them do you have that you have in our Nigerian schools? I'm talking of public schools right now. I'm not talking of private schools, because you can make excuse for that because of the money and all. But you look at our private or you look at our public schools, and you can't say much of that again as compared to probably in the 80s or 70s, where so many people enjoyed free education and a lot of privileges when it comes to that. So you would want to think that with the advent of COVID and how everybody was grounded, the world was locked down, Nigeria would have said, well, this is the time. I mean, I remember we had a lot of conversation that time around developing local remedies, because we had countries like Ecuador and so many other countries who came up, whether it was real or not, but there were efforts on the side of so many countries to come up with local solutions to COVID as at then. And we're asking, what about Nigeria? We are blessed with herbalists. We're blessed with a lot of natural resources, especially, when it comes to the herbs and so on and so forth. But hey, I guess we're forgetting so very fast that a situation like that could happen. And many have given predictions that there could just be a likely repeat of that. We say God forbid, but then what if it happens? What happens to our healthcare system? So I guess the arrangement comes from the fact that we get to see our presidents travel, maybe because they are more privileged. So the question begs for an answer. What about people who do not have that privilege of flying out of the country? What about people who have to die because of things as little as malaria, as typhoid fever, because they don't even have, number one, the money, and even if they do, when they go to the hospital, sometimes the treatment and is not available onto them, So looking at 34 billion naira in foreign currency in 2 years, all because of our president's travel alone, begs for lots and lots of questions to be answered as to why this is. And if we have any commensurate returns, because for me, that is a question I always ask. It's not a bad thing for you to go and sign MOUs. You want to improve bilateral relations or multilateral relations with different countries. You want to attract Forex and all. But then at the end of the day, does it start and end on papers? What are the commensurate, returns that we have for some of these travels? Because you would expect that Nigerians should benefit. We should be the first point of call. After all, the husbandman should be the first beneficiary, right? And we are Nigerians. So if you go and you want to attract direct foreign investments, how much more of the industries of the, all the other areas of investment is it that we have in Nigeria? How many more job opportunities have been opened up to young Nigerians who are vastly unemployed and have to be forced sometimes into the informal sector because there's just no place for them to, put in their energy and also get commensurate pay and have a better life. So the presidency is said to have spent at least 34.39 billion on foreign exchange purchases for international travel and related obligations over a 2-year period. This finding is by Punch newspaper. And the figure is according to data compiled by Government Spend, which is a government spending tracker managed by Budget. Okay? And the records which cover transaction by State House, Presidential Air Fleet, Office of the Chief of Staff and Operations, linked to the President, Vice President, First Lady, and their aides show a sharp swing in spending patterns between 2024 and 2025. An analysis of the data shows that 2024 accounted for the bulk expenditure with total forex purchases of 29.39 billion naira, while 2025 recorded a 5.04 billion. So there's a sharp contrast, and I remember it was in 2024 where you remember the height of the climate change event that happened, COP 18 or thereabout. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Where the large entourage that amounted up to 1,000 or more was criticized highly. And then shortly afterwards, the presidency released a statement saying, moving forward, there will be a certain number of entourage for the president, for the first lady, for the vice president to cut down the cost. So obviously that was implemented. And that's why we have the sharp cut from 29.35 billion in 2024 to about 5.04 billion naira. Naira now. Okay. This represents a year-on-year decline of 82.8%. So we give it up to the government, aligning with broader trends in foreign exchange market where the naira stabilized following policy reforms and improved dollar inflows. By the way, the dollar is really, getting a dip, and the naira seems to be appreciating. The last time we saw the naira being equivalent of what it is, I've not checked for this morning, but as at the last time I checked, that was about yesterday, it was 1,300 and thereabout. So, which is a great improvement. So, yeah. But at the end of the day, I guess what we're saying is there could still be a large cutting in the cost of air travels for the president. Presidents are allowed to travel, but then with the fact that we keep complaining about scarce resources and revenues in Nigeria, I think more care needs to be paid in terms of just how much is put into this. Because looking at the money, 34 billion naira in 2 years, that's quite a lot. Imagine you put that into so many sectors that are crying or begging for attention. We're talking of education, we're talking of the health sector, and even the general economy. That will go a long way at turning the tides of things, right? So yes, in your own estimation this afternoon, and that's my question for you, how much more do you think can be made in terms of the cuts when it comes to travels by the president. Okay, don't tell me the president should not travel, because that is not even possible. It's part of his duty. It's part of his job to meet up with other, leaders of the world, because leaders of the world also come to Nigeria to pay a visit, right? So you can't say that the government or the president should not go out. It's necessary that the president or his vice or whoever it is he chooses to delegate should go out. But looking at the cost and how much more we can make in order to make it so much better, right? Do you have a problem with this figure in terms of how much has been sunk in for these foreign travels? And if there be a way that we can cut it down, just how much of that do you think we can do? What are some of the modalities that can be put in to ensure that the spending on foreign trips comes down so much more, looking at the fact that, hey, Nigeria needs this money so much more than just for air travels and all the other things that it's accounted for. Let me have your thoughts on this afternoon on 0700 951 0000 and 08095974869. You can also dial 08099930137, or you can just simply send a voice note or a message. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon, Barrister Swat. How are you today?
I'm fine, thank you.
Yes, my name is Obedient Elder Comrade Tony, calling from Abuja.
All right, go ahead.
I want to take on your first or second story, which says that APC in Enugu State are not trying to forcefully make sure that civil servants are registering with their party.
It's an allegation, though. It's an allegation.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good. You see, Barrister Swat.
Yeah.
We know them, that Barrister Swat. Now, let me ask you one. For instance, as market woman, when you take your market, do you force buyers to buy your goods?
You can't even force people to buy your goods now.
So I mean, you don't look. If you are selling a very good commodity, customers will flock there. But whereby you are selling cancerous virus that when the people consume it, it's instant death for them. That is how I see the APC. Look, right from 2015, APC has completely damaged the psyche of Nigerians. They have bastardized, mesmerized, and coerced.
All right,
Nigerians.
Choice of words, please. Elder, I understand you have misgivings, but when you begin to say words, please just be very mindful of the choice of words, because you're talking about a party, an association, and they can actually ask for you to, so just be kind of very circumspect in your choice of words, please.
Okay.
Yeah,
thank you, Barrister Swat. You see, for Barrister Swat, let me still let listeners to know that the person talking now, I have lived abroad for 15 years, both in Italy and in the US. Now, was it not in London that, you see, people were stoning the Prime Minister with raw eggs? Look, you see, these are some of the dividends of democracy that makes people to air out their grievances. But can you try that in Nigeria? Look, you see, it's like, oh my God, I don't know why God created me to be a Nigerian, because it's people like us. If I had known, I would not have even come back to this country, because you see, quite honestly, look, I tell you, the life of the white man and the black man, gap in it. You see, the white does the right thing at the right time. Do the right thing always. That is what democracy entails. Why must you now be trying to coerce people that if they don't join you, no salary, no job security? Look, come on. What is all that for? Now, is this one democracy again? As far as I'm concerned, this is autocracy of the highest order. You see it now. So then comes back to the Mr. President's travels, spending a whooping 34 billion naira. Oh my God. This is money that can create hundreds of thousands of jobs for the unemployed Nigerian youth. why are our leaders doing all this?
Okay, so in your own estimation, right, what is reasonable? Because we cannot say the president should not travel, and that's why I'm asking, what is reasonable amount to be sunk in when we want to invest in the president traveling out? So that's the essence of this conversation, right? It's not a matter of just condemning outrightly. Yes. So what's your take?
Yes, fine and good. Let's take the presidential fleet, for instance.
Yeah.
Do you know that, of course, in Britain, the British Prime Minister, do they have a presidential jet in Britain? The answer is no. The British Prime Minister flies, what we call it, British Airways, in his foreign travels, because they have to, keep and try to create jobs. And that is why today, if you from welfare office, and they pay them £50. I can sustain them for at least 1 week. You see, in Nigeria, okay, where is the money for us to even pay the unemployed youth in Nigeria? So why can't we do away with flamboyant, presidency, call it, president, gallivanting around the whole world.
All right.
Nothing to show for it.
Thank you, Elder.
Passing on the economy.
Thank you.
So thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Barrister Swat.
Thank you for calling. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, you're welcome.
Good afternoon.
Yes, welcome, sir.
My name is Adiola Victor from Juzalagi. You see, the president will continue to travel. There's nothing we can do about it. It has become a caution in this country for presidents to travel. Starting from Obasanjo regime, we saw a lot of travels. Jonathan too, and Buhari, you see, a lot of travels. This president, especially Buhari and this president, they travel for two reasons. You see, one, according to them, they want to go and woo foreign investors to come to Nigeria. Then second, they travel at times to take care of themselves. They go abroad for medical treatment. That's the truth. Some people call it exercise, that the president needs to travel abroad for exercise. Some people call it just a
what sort of exercise? Sorry, sir, I don't understand.
You see, to keep body fit, at times we do exercise in the morning. We do exercise, so the president, when he travels,
that's his own form of exercise.
Yes, some people need to exercise. Considering his age, that he needs just exercise, he has to travel, he has to move around.
So, move around. But that's very ironic because, so for example, you're traveling to, what country is it now? You're going to Australia. Do you know how long it takes from Nigeria to go to Australia? And for someone of his age, when you sit down for long stretches of time, except of course you're going to go, through one country and all of that.
No,
do you know how hectic it is to travel?
People believe it's good for his body.
Oh wow, interesting.
That he needs to travel. But one thing is sure: you see, there's nothing they can do, or because government will continue to spend money on travel. There's nothing they can do because you see, they believe this is their time. But when you look at the amount squander on travel, as a matter of fact, it's very alarming. Millions of Nigerians are going out 2 times. You see, I always say these politicians are just after unsettling interest. The president has been telling us we should be patient. So we will continue to be patient, and then we continue to enjoy, continue to travel all over the world, and continue to live life. And we continue to tie our bands. Some of us will continue to let us go and buy more bands so that we tighten our bands so that they continue to enjoy. Thank you.
All right, I get your sarcasm. Thank you so much. The presidency has maintained that most of these trips are necessary for diplomacy, investment promotion, bilateral relation, and so on and so forth, which is quite necessary because there's no government that can carry on without you trying to, foreign policy is there at all the times. You cannot exist as an island, as a nation, so you have to have some sort of relationship with these people. And then the investments where one is lacking, you need someone to come and invest, and that should open up the doors for a whole lot for your people to benefit. But the question is, how much of that how much of the benefits can we be able to count on our fingertips tips, and I'm not speaking only with relations or with regards to the Tinubu administration. Over the years, like you rightly said, Mr. Adiola, we've seen presidents travel to several countries and so on and so forth. As much as we can justify these trips, when you look at the much that is being sunk in, what is commensurate in terms of the benefits that Nigerians get from these travels is a valid question. And let me take more calls before I continue my thoughts. Hello.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
Yes,
My
welcome.
name is Lukman, calling from Zamani.
All right, welcome.
Yeah, the travel by the president of the country many of them are highly unnecessary.
Why do you say they are highly unnecessary? Which ones are unnecessary by your estimation?
What he goes there to do? I've seen many. I can't even count. Even the cops, the cops or the one they call cops. What he goes there to do is to just sign. They must have prepared all those things before he arrived. Not when he arrived that they will not begin to design bilateral agreements. They must have, design it. They can send soft copy to them in Nigeria. They will study it. Then the foreign affairs minister and other trade committee, they can go there and sign all these things. It costs a lot of money for the president to travel because he has to go with entourage, and that is, waste. So if I were him, I would be worried that I'll spend 34 billion naira just in 1 year. I would be worried, but he's not worried. So to me, I see it as a tourism strategy for him to be touring around the world. Because if he as he is president now, wherever he goes to, they will be saluting him. He will be seeing different cities compared to when he's a private citizen. So that's how I just see it. So that's what he's enjoying. It's not as if he's bringing. I'm not saying all the travel will bring zero benefit to Nigeria, but we are looking at it that there can never be only one way to solve them. You must always be there. It is necessary because you're foreign affairs minister, we have ambassadors, we have other people who are employed to deal with foreign matters. So you shouldn't be doing it because we need to save money. That's just it.
All right.
So you should reduce it. Buhari to did his own. See now we have not seen anything that Buhari brought to us. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Lukman, for your contribution. Let me see what messages you guys have sent in relation to this. Okay, we have voice notes and many more messages. Good afternoon, Swat. Any man who cannot trust his own judgment. Okay, I think this is from earlier on, sorry. This one says, I won't be surprised if the allegations turn out to be true that civil servants are being compelled to register in Enugu State with the APC. It seems that APC by all means wants to remain in power in 2027 and beyond, as the party is not interested in managing voters via performance. Use of strange and illegal means should be the only option left. I experienced a similar thing in one of the federal universities. After finishing what took me to the university, as I was about entering the long CNG bus, one of the students asked me if I had the payment card. I said no. He told me I must buy it before I could use it. When I saw the card, lo and behold, P. Bat's picture, that's President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's picture, was on the side of the card. It is my position that Western model of democracy is not working in Nigeria and other African countries. We have to assemble our best brains to craft African model of democracy that would truly be African and cheap to operate, development oriented with zero tolerance for corruption, says Comrade Efodu. Thank you so much. Jacob Ode Madala, you said, Havoko Majesty, if those trips are yielding the good results and placing the country where it should be, no amount is too much, but as long as the needed results are not achieved, some of these trips should be intentionally skipped in order to save costs. Right. So, I think it's left for Nigerians now to make that assessment, right? I think I asked that question. I'm still asking again. Is there any commensurate benefit, so to speak, in terms of some of these foreign trips that we have seen happen? I can give you examples of the visits recently that was paid by other countries, whether prime ministers, presidents. What's his name? Keir Starmer visited China recently, right? We've had the situation where the Chinese Indian Prime Minister also came into Nigeria, and so many other instances where different presidents pay different visits to different countries for different reasons, and you cannot stop that. But in terms of commensurate results, employment, yes, more money in the economy circulating, because when you have more investors, that is what it means invariably, right? The economy opens up. So can we say so much in terms of some of these visits and the alluding to the fact that, hey, the president is going not just for cruise, like some of you say he's going for tourism and all. It may not necessarily be like that, but have we seen things that we can say, well, based on the fact that he has traveled this much, look at how we've seen the space open up for the economy and for employment and lots of other benefits that always accrue to citizens with their presidents traveling and ensuring that their interest is protected. Okay, yes, let me read this one, then I'll come back to the phone lines. Banking will say too, you said, Sunny Swat have vocal massive greetings. Many of us till now don't seem to realize the extent of decadence in the Nigerian economy before Tinubu. Nobody elected him on his level of foreign travels, and it is necessary to do that to improve the economy. So be it. We must not be penny wise and pound foolish. Let's compare how much Nigeria lose to corruption and those lost to what the presidency deemed necessary to further the economy. I sincerely believe we bother ourselves with small issues rather than those that would improve the economy. Really? Whoa. You call 34 billion naira small issues. This is quite interesting. Okay. Good afternoon, Swat. I'm Joseph from Nasarawa. APC is showing some sort of desperacy or is being desperate. Why are they scared? Even a ruling party that will be shocked with the outcome of 2027 general election. Okay, thank you. Hello.
Hello, Barrister Swat.
Yes, good afternoon.
Hello.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, my name is Alex. I'm calling from Wuye.
All right, welcome, Mr. Alex.
For me, I think that the traveling by Mr. President has not really benefited Nigeria in any way. By my own calculation, I think he's traveling. If you say let you do from 1 to 10, I think Nigeria has lost resources more than 80%. Because personally, I have not seen any single thing his traveling has brought to Nigeria. At least we can say during the time of Obasanjo he traveled a lot, but we saw a lot of things that happened: debt forgiveness, GSM coming to Nigeria, and so many other things. But this man has been traveling just for enjoyment without commensurate return here. So for me, his traveling does not benefit Nigeria, and his traveling is just for him to maybe him and his former President Muhammadu Buhari, like they say, let us enjoy now that we are the departure lounge. They are like, let's enjoy ourselves to the fullest. Because I can't see the reason why you will be traveling without any commensurate thing. And in fact, I can assure you, before 2 weeks' time, he will travel again. Because he may travel before they will, if these people will present any budget, so that they will say he's not in town. So for me, he should sit down and take, because you can't deceive people. Some of these people you are traveling to know Nigeria more than they know Nigeria. You can't tell them, come and they know there is insecurity everywhere. They know there is kidnapping everywhere. They know that electricity is not working. And they are not the one to fix it for you. You sit down and fix it. Not by traveling up and down without any result. Since if anybody knows what his traveling has brought to Nigeria in this platform, let him tell us. Let me know what he has done that has put Nigeria in a good place. Thank you, Barrister.
Thank you very much. Okay, so when you make some general statements about there's nothing to prove, there's nothing to show. I'm always very wary with statements that are general in nature. It doesn't show any sense of like consideration. I mean, just look at things in all fairness. I would always want for us to have a balanced conversation, right? Maybe you don't know, and it's okay not to know, but when you say nothing whatsoever, then it becomes a case of debate, right? Okay, so I mean, looking at what the presidency or what the reports are with reported economic benefits, the presidency maintains that these trips are investment missions, like I said, rather than mere diplomacy. And some of the key reported outcomes include FDI commitments. That's the administration claims to have secured over 50 billion naira in foreign direct investments, from countries like India, China, UAE, and Qatar. Then also we've made trade surpluses. Strategic groundwork during travels is credited with helping Nigeria achieve a trade surplus of 6.95 trillion naira in the second quarter of 2024 alone. These are some of the reports that I gave it. Now, you could cancel them with your own debate, but just don't say nothing has come out of it, because it may not be true. Other things like debt and reserves, high-level negotiation with IMF and Afrexim Bank contributed to clearing $10 billion in forex backlogs and boosting foreign reserves, which rose from roughly 33 billion naira to about 40 billion naira in late 2024 to 2025. I could go on and on, in terms of what the reports are of the commiserate or some of the benefits that have been accrued to us. Some people will say, well, these things are just on paper. But whether on paper or not, make your own investigation, look into it, and then you can, come up with your own debate as to whether or not you agree, which is okay. But when you say nothing completely, then it begs for how you came to that conclusion. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? I'm not speaking for government. I'm just saying, well, these are some of the reports that have been released, attaching it to what we're conversing today about. So, more of your comments. Hello. Hello.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you.
How are you, ma?
I'm okay. How are you?
We thank God. How is it? Nigeria info. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, ma. Good afternoon, everybody, home and abroad. My name is Mr. Steven.
All right, Mr. Steven, go ahead.
Yeah. Yes. Auntie Swat, yes. Very nice listening when we are rolling out what government said that they have put in place. But in reality, we cannot see anything in all these things. It's just by paperwork. And when you are doing paperwork to Nigeria, that is not reality. It makes no sense to Nigerians. We are not being trying to say that maybe president traveling or here and there. They have from Buhari's regime till today. I don't see any. You journalists should write it out and as you read it out now, let Nigerians capture what they have done truly. That yes, we can point out and hold it. Yes, we have seen what they have achieved to Nigerians. If I were a president of this country, believe you me, I will not travel anywhere, because traveling cannot make Nigeria better. We have everything in ourselves to make Nigeria better, but they refuse to do that. Just they're wasting our taxpayers' money. Look at the money they are mentioning here. And every day, Nigeria, they cannot pay salary, all those things, they cannot do anything, but wasting our money. They should rethink very well. It's not good. We make us more angry. Thank you, and God bless Nigerian info.
All right, thank you for your contribution. Appreciate that. Hello. Hello.
Huh?
Yes, good afternoon. I can hear you.
I don't know.
Welcome.
This is Engineer Ola.
Welcome, Ola. It's been a while.
I think I call Madam Swat. Actually, I'm not around.
Okay, you're not in town, right?
No, I'm not in town. No.
Oh, okay. Good to hear from you.
Madam Swat. My contribution goes like this. You know, when we are talking about APC, the question I not ask myself, and I normally ask a lot of people, and even the supporters of the so-called APC, is that, yes, somebody was challenging me one day, say, oh, I just don't like Mr. President. I said, okay, I don't like him. And I ask him, give me one reason to like him. You understand what I'm saying now, Madam Swat?
Yeah, I'm listening to you.
I asked that person that, give me one reason to like him. This person challenged me that, the subsidy that he removed. I say that subsidy that he removed, somebody removed it in 2012 or 2011 or so. He protested against the same subsidy. He now said, no, it's a lie that good luck only increased fuel price. Madam Swat, can you believe all these things? So that is the reason why you see when somebody was talking about civil servant, they are forcing civil servant to register with APC. See, anything, Madam Swat, I may not have the evidence, but the person that is the president, I know very well, and I know what he can do, because like that's why I tell people that's why if you look at ever since he came into power, Madam Swat, from the first day he came into power, they started campaign of the second term. Because why? You see that that logo of 8 on his head. He wants to fulfill it at all costs. So, Madam Swat, this is my contribution. All of us as a Nigerian, you understand? At least if you are doing something, because some people, because I've traveled Nigerian very well, and I understand that people only begin to reason the country from their own beneficiary area. Like if this government comes to, so maybe you are getting contract or you are getting something, the government is the best. But it's supposed to go round, Madam Swat. Am I wrong in saying this?
What do you mean it's supposed to go round? What exactly are you talking about?
Like who are supposed to live well? You know, if I'm going to this, if maybe somebody is looking for work, the person is qualified, let him get the work, not because I know this person or I support this person, then I not get this work. That means, the government is the best. It should not be like that. The country is not run that way, and that is the perspective of what so many people are reasoning this country in, seeing this country as. I don't know how to put that English, because I try to mingle with some people, and I try to make them. I want to understand what they say. When I say no, it should go round. When my neighbor is suffering, that means the government is not good. Not that this person cannot work. This person can work, but I have to know somebody for me to get this. If I don't know that person, then I will not get it. That is why the country keep going this way, Madam. So that is the reason why you see they are trying to coerce a lot of people to come into the APC so they can get that 2027 at all costs.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the contribution.
Thank you. We should start rounding up now on this conversation. Let me see the messages that I have and just read them. No investor will come and invest in insecurity and blackout. AEDC supplies call electricity. Wilson from Asukari. I don't understand your message though. Let me see. We have voice notes here. Let me take on this one.
Hello, good afternoon, Barrister Swat. Good afternoon, Nigeria Info family. My name is Harry doing this VN from Abuja. Yes, concerning the president's traveling, Madam Swat, in Nigeria we are not being blunt, and based on we are speaking on air, so there are some things we cannot say. But someone who traveled about 22 days out of 31, what will you say? A president of a nation. You see, this this foreign investment our president is going to look for. How many have we started seeing materializing? We're always seeing them on papers. Do you understand? And the truth is that no matter these people you are going to woo to come into your country, they are informed. They know the situation of your country. You understand? So you have to put your house in order. You don't beg investors to come in. Investors see reasons why they need to invest. No investor, you won't, no matter your plea, they will only tell you what you want to hear. Okay, we are coming, let's sign there. At the end of the day, they'll back off. Until you put your house in order, there is no way you expect investors to come in. I believe the presidency is adhering to what Sheikh Gumi say. Look away from US. Why don't you look into China, Turkey, and the rest? You mustn't build bilateral ties with US alone. So I believe that's what he's trying to fulfill. We are watching.
All right, thank you so much. For those of you who are, talking about nobody will come and invest and all, like I said, you also look at that side by side with what the report is on the side of the government. And already, there are reports saying that we already have 50 billion US dollars in foreign direct investment in Nigeria as a result of the president's visit. Anyway, in terms of commitment, so hopefully they come in and they execute that, and we begin to see commensurate benefits from people around. We have more of the voice notes. Let's play this one.
My name is Mr. Gordon from Area 11. On these billions of either naira or dollars spent by the presidency for foreign trips, it's very, very unfortunate because a country, Nigeria, where they remove subsidy, the masses are still struggling to survive, and the presidency are spending such bogus amounts of money on the foreign trips in the name of attracting foreign investments. Not be today we hear about foreign investments. I think, like you said, that it's not easy to a president moving from one country to another, sitting there in one place. I believe because of the obstacles that is involved, the dollars, the allowances that the president gets. That's why even the late President Buhari, that was not too strong, health-wise, keep moving from one country to another because of the money. It's very, very unfortunate. And that's why issue of this Nigerian pay tax, Nigerian not paying tax. Nigeria will struggle with their little businesses, pay taxes to the politicians, and one person will be stealing hundreds of billions. The presidency will be spending such billions on foreign trips, and you are asking people to pay more taxes. So it is unfortunate. I will pray that by 2027, may God help us to come out of this mess, because it's only when you have a good leader that cares about the masses that will cut down the cost of governance.
Okay, Barrister Swat, good afternoon. My name is Triple D, still sending this voice message right now from Waru. Barrister Swat, this APC allegedly, this country, when are we going to come out to say something exactly the way it is? Allegedly, until there have been proof. Swat, you imagine in this country, somebody kills somebody live. We are seeing it. Okay, just like this Kano killing, they will say allegedly. What is the meaning of that allegedly? Something that is very clear. Some of us are not, we didn't go to school, but they need to tell us. Let it be allegedly. If truly government are doing the right thing, all this decam will not be there. Instead of you to, based on the campaign promises, fulfilling your campaign promises, they are busy celebrating the campaign. I keep on saying this, is the campaign any progress? Is the campaign a progress? No. And now we are hearing allegedly forcing people to register under APC. Okay, let it remain allegedly. Even they told us last time it's allegedly. Let us keep us waiting. We'll get it right. Good afternoon and have a wonderful day.
All right. Good afternoon, SWAT. An average Nigerian will still tell you plainly that this administration has achieved nothing that reflects in their daily life. You talk about forex stability, forex gains, FX this and that, but how does that translate to the understanding and survival of the ordinary Nigerian? We still buy PMS at very high price. Cooking gas is no longer affordable for the common man. Transportation fares have skyrocketed. Just look at the cost of traveling from Abuja to Calabar today. It has risen drastically beyond the reach of many families. Yet someone will stand up and say, FX, who exactly is FX foreign forex helping? If policies do not push food on the table, reduce transport costs, and ease the suffering of the masses, then all the big economic grammar means nothing to the people. Governance should be spelled, not explained. Wani Debos, okay? Is it Wani Debos? Thank you so much, Wani Debos. This one here is from Jeff. He said, good afternoon. On the president foreign trips, foreign travels are very important. No country lives in isolation. The president is not a palace king. You have to strengthen diplomatic ties with other countries and attract investment. It is said that these travels attract $50 billion. Just a correction. The caller who said the British Prime Minister does not fly a presidential plane. The British government has a dedicated presidential jet known as the RAF Voyager of Vespina, used for transporting the Prime Minister, senior ministers, and the royal family. Yep, indeed, that is very, very true. So that's it, guys. That's it for this conversation. Really appreciate your input on this one. This guy has been calling since, so let me just take on this last caller. Hello.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, this is David calling.
All right, quickly.
Yeah, just like other caller, if I may ask or may put in something, how many of those presidents that I have gone to visit, how many of the presidents have visited Nigeria in the section of Tinubu? Have there been any? How many of presidents in the world have visited Nigeria? That is one. The other thing, I tell you, all that traveling going this thing is nothing but jamboree. It's nothing but organized also. Then, to talk of the...
What did you say? Organized what?
You see, I said all that traveling, is nothing but well-organized looting.
No, please don't use words like that, Mr. KGB. Don't use words like that.
Okay, I will try it, but I will try it so that I can be able to say the other one. And coming to APC forcing or back-forcing people from to register. And I want to ask you one this thing, by so I think you can answer me. Is it that when I register in your party that I must vote you? Hello?
I'm listening to you. Please round up your thoughts.
I know what I'm trying to say, that if I register in your party, that is a must during the voting. I have no other party to vote for, if not you. For instance, that is no to me. And they have started in the wrong terrain. That area, they can never. But no, now, that is the area where Labour Party got 97%, 97% of votes. Meanwhile, any other leaving 3% for the other district. Nothing can make them that fight to vote anything called APC. Nothing.
Okay. All right. Let's leave it like that, because the way some of you get so very emphatic and very invested in these things, I don't know. Just take it easy, right? As far as I'm concerned, I know I'm one of those people who believe that Nigerians should be the one that will make the decision, but someone will come and say there's nothing you can do about nothing. Like, how do you know these things? Right. Thank you for your contributions. Let's take a break and then come back for the exchange, which is the final segment on the show. It's 95.1 Nigeria Info.
Hi everyone, my name is Swat. That's the name my father gave me, but you can always call me Her Vocal Majesty. I'm the host of The Sunny Side on 95.1 Nigeria Info. It takes place every weekday, noon to 3 p.m., where we get to have all the lovely contemporary conversations. If your days are normally long and gloomy, well, not anymore, because I'm here to make it all bright and sunny for you. So join me. It's an invitation. You don't want to miss out.